Good morning, it is Tuesday today. I am a total nervous wreck because today the educational psychologist is going to see Alfie in school, and this is one of the days where I hope he acts up so she can see everything. So luckily the teacher is on my side and she's planned activities that usually he doesn't like, just to show that side of things, because he's really settled at the moment. But the problem is that he every time there's a change or anything, he cannot cope with it, and what they do at the moment he's loving, so he's very happy there. But this is not a true representation about what it is like, and because she's not met him before, it's a new one. If it's all based on one day, I just need him to act badly. It's awful to have to think like this, but it's just the reality of things. In the meantime, Therese is coming over. We are going to set up one of Alfie's birthday presents. She got him something called a Tony box. I think I mentioned it before. It's a music device system for younger children, and Alfie loves music, so she is getting him that. But I have got him, basically you put little characters on top, and sorry, I'm turning this thing off for a bit because it's warm. You put little characters on top and they all have preloaded music on them, so you just need to set them up before. We want to make it so when he opens it he can use it right away. So it comes with one character, and then I got him the fireman, so we're gonna set that up. But yeah, I'm nervous. I'm a nervous wreck. I just want today to go bad. It's horrible to have to think like this, but then I will have to wait until Thursday next week to find out what's happened. But I think once it's happened there, the teacher hopefully will be able to tell me stuff, and I won't have to wait until then to know anything at all, or I will have an idea of how to prepare if he acted well, on how to convince this lady that Alfie should be in special needs unit when we go to the meeting next week. So I've just picked Alfie up and I'm feeling really stressed. Don't know how to distress. So I've only seen the teacher and she gave me her version of things, and basically we're gonna have to put up a good fight. He did have 2 mini meltdowns, as she called them. It started a meltdown and he came out of them pretty quickly, so she did see that at least. And then she took him to do some activities to determine his cognitive functions, and I have no worries at all about his cognitive capacities. I know that he is a very bright child. What I'm worried about is his social abilities, his communication abilities and all that, and because they get in the way of the rest. And this is the reason why I want him to go to a special education place, because he can't cope with them full-time in nursery already. How could he cope with them when there is more kids, less staff, more hours, more academic work? She is wanting to push mainstream next class basically, and I know the only reason why is because there are not enough spaces for all the kids, and she's trying to push it with everybody. I know that has happened to every single person I know who is in a unit currently. I think they're just chancing it with everyone and hope for the best, and that's the only way to get kids there, like in the right amount of kids in those classes. I'm going to visit 2 of those units tomorrow. I have also spoken with one of Alfie's previous assistants, who has been working 21 years in one of the special needs units and has also been working one-to-one every single day for 3 months with Alfie earlier in this year. And I've asked her, can I please ask you your honest opinion? Could you tell me if, sorry, I had a message there. Could you tell me if you think Alfie should next year go to your unit or should go to mainstream? And she said without hesitation, definitely a unit. She said I have no worries about his capacities in terms of understanding of what he needs to know for the curriculum. Even though there's a bit of a delay, he will catch up, but I'm worried about all the rest and all the sensory issues, all the social issues and all that, and he will definitely go to better in a unit. So this is the teacher, the Senko, one of the person that worked 21 years in there plus 3 months with him there, and our own opinion all say the same thing. And the one person we need to convince now is the one person who has the pen to write down on paper what needs to happen for next year. So going to visit 3 of the units tomorrow and the day after. Thursday next week, meeting to decide what happens. I'm sure we will then know. I'm worried that she will try and gain, like, buy time by telling us, sure, I'll review him in so long and then we'll see. I just need her to write this down as quickly as possible because his statement is very delayed and I'm getting really worried that he won't have a place next year. And it's just a very, very stressful process. It's a mess, this whole process. When it's all over, I'll make a roundup video to explain every single step that it took to get there. We are getting close now. In a month it will be 1 year since I started this process. It was supposed to happen for September this year, so he would have the help in nursery. We are now in March. He still has no help, apart from the help the school is funding because they can't leave him without any kind of education. But the school doesn't have to do that. If it wasn't for the school doing it, he would not be in school right now. And I don't want to be in a position next year where he is put in a class where he can't cope and we have no place in any other education, and the only option I am left with is taking him out of school and having to homeschool him. I have nothing against homeschooling, but I don't think it's right for him and I don't think it's right for me. At this present time, it's nothing to say it would never change, but this is not something I am strong enough to do right now, and I do not wish this. I would not be able to give him the education he needs right now. So this is the kind of mess we are in right now. I hate this system, and I understand that everybody who works in it, even her, the education psychologist, is just doing their best with what they have accessible, but I'm not happy to just sit there and let it happen. And I will fight with everything I have to get my child the education he needs. It's just, I just wish it was a little bit easier. It's been a very stressful school year so far, and I know the fight is not over, but once it's over, well, for this year anyway, it will be great. Oh god, wait. I'm gonna go and bring, Therese brought me this for Alfie's room. I'm gonna bring it up. I will have to get more boxes for it, but, and this is a shelf for the downstairs bathroom. I'm stressed out. Then I have more cushion inserts. I'm going to make cushions for this couch and for the couch downstairs, and I'll have to bring all this to them as well. So the good news though is that Echo hasn't peed outside of the room, and the room doesn't smell like cat pee anymore. So all my cleaning worked. Do you like it in here? You like it in here? Good morning and happy Wednesday. I'm feeling like a zombie. I've put mascara on because I have been up since 3:30 last night, and I did wake up because Alfie woke up, but then he went to sleep pretty quickly, well, relatively quickly, but my brain started to go into overload and wouldn't let me sleep, and the only way I could calm down and not have a panic attack was by researching ways to go about this meeting we have next week. I'm finding it absolutely terrifying. So yeah, fun times. We are off in a few minutes as soon as James is back from bringing the boys to school to visit one of the potential schools we want Alfie in. So I'm going to number the schools in the order I see them. So school number 1 at the moment, well, until recently, would have been my second choice in terms of schools. We are going to base our decision on 3 choices for now, with there's 3 other backups in case we need more choices. But this one would have been choice number 2, but it's slowly turning into number 1 given how they are dealing with things. So I'm visiting this one today, and then tomorrow school number 2 will be the one that's currently my first choice, but it's slowly turning into the second choice. And the third school we'll visit later on, probably even after the meeting, because I couldn't schedule an appointment before that with them, but it will be our third choice for sure. So it's between the first and second, we don't know for sure, so we want to go and see both to make a decision. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I had a very good impression of the Senko on the phone when I spoke to her, so I'm hoping it goes well. I'm hoping it comforts me in the fact that we are pushing for the right decision. I'm feeling very, very stressed at the moment. I think I don't remember ever feeling that stressed out about the situation. I've had really bad stress when James was having cancer and I was going through treatments and all, but because we were being told you do this, you do this, you do that, we just had to follow orders. There it's like nobody's doing their work and I have to go and fight every corner to manage to get a solution. So it's a bit complicated, but anyway, I have to go. I'll let you know afterwards how it went. Hello, it's now almost 3:30. Trace is away with the boys to bring one to dance class, and I had a nap, thankfully, because I really needed it. Probably going to have another little one. I only slept for half an hour, but it was a restful half hour, so I'm still feeling a bit like a zombie, but at least it's the afternoon now and I don't need to go out anymore, so that's good. So school visit this morning went very, very well. We were very impressed by the Senko in the school and the principal. They took so much time to answer all our questions. We really felt like they really wanted Alfie to join the school, and it's not like they have to sell it because they have such limited places. So we found out that at the minute, if Alfie was to go there in the class he would be, they are only will have 3 spaces available, and one of them is almost already guaranteed to a little child who is in the previous class there to move on to there. So more than likely 2 places only in that school. This is how limited the spaces are. Then I don't know about the school we're going to visit tomorrow, but this is for this one. We really felt like it was exactly what Alfie needs. There are probably 2/3 of the children in there would have more severe needs than he has, but the way they work it is that instead of grouping the children by there's 2 classes. So there's one class from P1 to P7. So P1 is the class Alfie is going to be in next year. If you're not familiar with the Northern Irish system, Alfie currently is in a class called nursery. It's technically a preschool class. Most of them are attached to a primary school, but it's not a compulsory year. And then it goes from P1 up to P7, means primary 1 to primary 7. Owen is in primary 3. So there's 2 classes. One is from P1 to P4 and one is P5 to P7. And they operate in a very similar way with more added things as they get older. The way it works is that each child is attached to one of the mainstream classes as well. They have most of their classes in that smaller unit class, and they have a completely independent educational plan. It's not following the curriculum per se, so they base it on their abilities and making them progress. So instead of grouping them by, even though they have a school year attached to them, they don't necessarily put like all the P1s together, all the P2 together to do their work. They group them by abilities, so they kind of try and keep each other going, and at the same time the ones that are more severely affected don't pull the other ones down. And it's just the way the class is laid out and all, it's very, very good for that. We arrived just before they were having a music therapy session, and I was so impressed when I saw the guy coming. He kept bringing more and more and more and more instruments, and they have that on a weekly basis available. They have a speech therapist that comes on site, which would mean not having to go bring Alfie out of school to bring him to his therapist all the time. And it's just, we do really feel it's the right fit. So it was very comforting whenever we visited and we chatted with the staff. We really felt that it comforted our choice, that we're not completely crazy, we are pushing for the right thing. I'm really looking forward to see the other school tomorrow, because I had my heart set on the other school, but this one we do meet a lot more of the admission criteria, so we probably would have more of a chance to get in. So putting it as a first choice gives us even more of a chance to do that. So even though I haven't seen the other ones, I'm more than likely going to put that one, because that's the only one where we are in the catchment area directly. So yeah, and we also have some of their cousins going there, so even though they are not like close relatives, they are still family. So as they said to us, just put relatives in the family members in the school in your comments, that might push it, you know. There, the school unfortunately does not pick which child gets in. They do get the file and they agree if yes or not they can accommodate this child, and then the education authority decides where everybody goes. So we know for sure we will not find out where Alfie goes before the summer, but we will probably find out what type of education he will be going for in the next like few weeks, or at least what we ask for, and then hope for the best. It was a very positive visit. I'm very happy. Then we went to pick Alfie up. We had a chat with the teacher again about the visit yesterday, and she did say that Alfie did show a lot of signs before, because they had to take him out of an activity to go and do a certain thing with a psychologist, and he didn't want to, so he had some meltdowns, and eventually he did go. And the problem he has is that in terms of cognitive behavior, like being able to do things like recognizing colors and shapes and numbers and all that, he is flying through that, because that's not the issue. And when he's one-to-one and you do the activities with him, he's okay. The problem is that when you add a whole group of children around him and you have to do activities at a set time, sitting at a table, this is when it gets very complicated. So it's not really for his like mental capacities that we want him to get that kind of education. It's for everything else, the sensory issues, the social issues, the communication issues. It's not only down to his academic capacities, really. So talked about that with the teacher. She kind of tried to tell us what she expected of that meeting we have, so we could be as prepared as we could. Then I came home and I started to make a lot of phone calls. So I phoned another school we want to visit. This other school has a unit for children. The one we visited this morning is called a learning support center. The one I'm going to visit tomorrow is also a learning support center. The third school, which we'll have at choice number 3 more than likely, it has an autism support center and a learning support center. The only thing is that the autism support center only go to the class P4, so after that we would need to find a different school again for him, which is not ideal for us, but if it's the only option, we will do that. And then what else? So I phoned the Senko from his current school to try and see what's happening, and he told me yesterday the psychologist actually phoned the education authority to try and get his statement to move along quicker, because right now we are kind of stuck. We can't do anything for next year until the statement is finalized, and it has to go through a commission and all that. So she phoned like the higher up people and tried to get them to get their job done. And they did. I then phoned education authority, spoke to the guy that's been really helpful, and he said to me, I literally am right now photocopying your statement to send you a copy in the post today. I was like, yes, finally. So I should be getting the statement with the amended thing about autism in it. Then we have the meeting on Thursday next week, where we discuss what kind of education we ask the psychologist to put forward. We know we're going to have a fight, but I have been told today by several people that the parents' choice is paramount. So in case I asked it this way to the guy in EA, asked him, if it came to a point where we cannot agree with the educational psychologist that she believes something and we strongly believe that this is not right, what happens? And he said to me, usually we try and avoid to have to go to court. So we usually are more likely to side with the parents because they have a better understanding of their own child, providing that the reason they are giving are compatible with what we can offer and all that. So it did reassure me a little bit, but not completely. I also discussed with the Senko from his school, if we didn't have a choice and he had to stay in mainstream and go to the next school year, what kind of help can the school provide, because we know we will not be getting any help. He's going to have a meeting tomorrow to discuss the rest of this year with the staff in the school to see how they can bring him up to more hours this year, so it's not a big shock for him next September wherever he goes. And he should call me back tomorrow to let me know like where the discussion went, and hopefully to have a plan to get him to stay for lunch, and hopefully until the end of the day. I can tell you that the day he can go full-time, this is going to change my life, seriously. And then I've also, what else did I do? Yeah, I phoned 3 other schools to make appointments. I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I've been back and forth on the phone like since we came back, and I feel like there's been a lot achieved today, just knowing that the statement is on its way. So what happens next is that the guy said to me, as soon as you get it, sign this sheet, to nominate the school he's in currently, to provide the help in that school, and email it to me and then put it in the post. So once it's emailed, I can already start the process. It has to go through a last commission, and there's only one once a month. The next one is early April, so he said to me, if you get that and you send it right to me, I can for sure put it for the April one, so we know then there's no more delays. Then we should have the final statement. Once the final statement is done, they will take the report from the educational psychologist and the advice she's given following her meeting, and they will amend her, they will do what they call a transfer form, which will then go and be added to his statement for next school year, and this is when we get to nominate schools. So we still have a bit of time to choose the order we want the schools in, but I would be happier having seen well, I will have seen at least our 2 top schools before the meeting next week. I'm hoping I could get the 3rd one in, but I don't know if it's going to be possible time-wise. Another thing as well is that, sorry, there's so much to update on. It's like I felt like I was feeling so hopeless and nothing was happening, and suddenly it's like I'm being bombarded with things that are happening. It's not concrete stuff, so I'm scared to get relieved from, you know, all this. But we have finally had Owen's speech therapy review, which was meant to happen in January. He's finally received an appointment, and it's next week. He's just going to have to miss school for it because I couldn't get any appointments out of school in the time frame they could book appointments in. And Alfie will be starting next Wednesday a 6-week block of speech therapy, so he will be going every single week. It does mean that he will have to miss school every Wednesday for the next 6 weeks until Easter, but it will be worth it in the end, and the school is probably gonna be happy enough for him to miss it for that. So unless they extended his hours, you know, enough that he could go after, because it's at 9:45 and it's last half an hour, so 10:15. By the time I bring him back to school, it will be at least 10:30, if not 10:45, and he finishes at 11:30. So I mean, bringing him for 45 minutes and upsetting the routine is probably going to be a disaster if I do that. So we'll see what to, I'll talk to the teacher tomorrow and decide. But this is basically everything that has happened today. I'm basically feeling very fragile right now. It came to a point, basically the way it's been, I've been pushing all emotions about this whole process aside as much as I could, because I'm feeling very overwhelmed by the situation. But it came to a point where it was just, I couldn't hold it anymore. So I ended up doing a lot of crying, because it's how I process things, and it does help. And it's just so hard. It's like, it's really hard to have to fight that much to get education for a child. But at the same time, it's not even an option not to do it for me. I can't just sit there and wait for them to do something, because I know they will not do it properly and they will not do it on time, and I am not willing. I feel like we have really sacrificed that school year for him, and I know he still has achieved stuff and all that so far, and I know it's not over, but technically by the time he gets the help it will be May time, and maybe the school ends in June here, at the end of June, so he's gonna have help for 2 months when he was supposed to get help from September. So it's a bit annoying, but hopefully for next year we manage to get it on time to get a space where we want to, but we shall see. So yeah, I'm gonna get a little rest again. I'm probably not gonna sleep, but just gonna lie down before the boys come back, and then just I need to do my exercise. I haven't done it today. I'm feeling so tired, but I just want to do it because I don't want to have a break in this, because otherwise I'm going to use that excuse, especially when I feel rubbish, to not continue, and I do not want to give up. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay awake very late to watch more Game of Thrones tonight, and hopefully I sleep better tonight. But yeah, it's just the next week and a bit really scare me. It's very busy. There's a lot of important things. So this was a very chunky clip there, but I tried to make it as concise as I could. So this is the update on the situation, and I will keep you posted in the next few days what happens next, and tomorrow as well, for what I thought about school number 2, to see if it does remain actually school number 2 in our choices, or if it moves on to school number 1. Good afternoon, it's Thursday, it's almost 2 o'clock. James is currently picking Owen up with Alfie, and then we are going to school number 2. This is what James is off today. We're going to visit that school. I am feeling so much better. Yesterday, I'm sure you've gathered, but maybe not the extent of the problem. I was a mess yesterday. A mess. Total mess. I completely broke down. There's no other way to put it. I've been going on putting my feelings aside for everything for months. Because if I start overthinking it, I'm panicking. So I thought I need to keep my head down and keep going, because if I don't, things will not happen on time and we will have no chance of Alfie getting the right type of education. So I need to stay focused, and the best way is to detach my feelings from what's happening. Except that it comes to a point where you can bury your feelings all you want, they just all come pouring out, and this is what happened yesterday. Just all got too much. It was one of those days where every single little thing was making me cry. I ended up crying for the most stupid things, but it was just too much. So I cried it all out. I slept for almost 9 hours last night, which doesn't happen, but thankfully I have a lovely husband who was very supportive and told me you just sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep. So I slept it off. I feel much better. We had a very productive morning, and I have decided to set myself some little projects for the weekend, because I figure I have to still wait another week. It's in a week. Right now we will be probably walking out of that meeting where we have to fight our case. So yeah, if all goes to plan, we will be walking out there very happy. We're probably very relieved. But yeah, so I have some little DIY projects, smaller ones that don't cost a fortune to do, and that I can do easily myself, that I want to do this year in the house. One of them being to paint the ensuite bathroom. We have a very small, tiny ensuite. We call it James's bathroom because James is the only one using it. There is absolutely no pressure in that shower, and I cannot even wash my body with it. I don't know how James does it, but he's used to it, so it's his bathroom. I use the main bathroom. We have 2 bathrooms. We have the ensuite, which is like a small corner shower, toilet and a sink, and that's James's, but it's never been painted. It only has, like the rest of the unpainted bit of the house, a whitewash over the plaster. Except that because it's a bathroom and there's no window there, there's like a kind of fan, extractor fan thing, that to air it, but it's not enough. So there's, in some corners, there's a little bit of mildew on the walls. So before it gets too bad, we bought some pure white bathroom paint. So I'm going to paint that bathroom. It's a very boring thing, but James doesn't care about it being pretty, and because it's such a tiny room and there's no natural light in it, I don't want to make it any darker color or anything like that, so we're just going to stick with white. We also need to paint the downstairs toilets. Is one of my current projects. I want to repaint the walls. I think I talked about that before. And the ceiling has never been painted, so I figured I may as well paint it with bathroom paint, because at least I know it will be fine. So we bought a one of those buckets. Paint bucket of pure white bathroom paint. So I'm going to do the ceiling in the downstairs toilets, and the walls and ceiling in the ensuite, and I've also bought the green paint, bathroom paint, for the walls in the downstairs toilets. It's a bit brighter and a bit lighter than the current one, but I figured if I do that, I will focus on that instead of, at the moment, the way I am today I don't feel like crying anymore. I think I have no tears left. But every time I have a spare moment where I get bored, my brain goes into overload again about what if this goes wrong, what's going to happen, what are we going to do, and all that, and it's draining. So I want to focus on something else that's more positive. I was thinking of doing some gardening. Given the weather we have, it's not happening. So I figured this I can do whatever the weather. It's smaller projects that I can do both over the weekend, and it will keep my brain busy while I do it. And I find painting quite relaxing. So and it also will tick off some boxes in my mental to-do list of what there is to do in the house. So it's all working well. So James and I this morning dropped Alfie off to school and went off to B&Q to pick up the paint. And then we went to Marks and Spencer's. We got we just got some ready meals for lunch. I had the Balanced For You chicken and bacon carbonara, which was quite nice. James had another one of the balanced meals. We're both being careful about what we eat at the moment, and it's feeling good. I did my workout. I got some new flowers in there in Marks and Spencer's as well. And tonight we are going to do a little pizza party where I bought some mini pizza bases, pizza sauce and things to put on toppings, and we're doing our pizza party together. Owen wanted to do one since we went to Lucy's party 2 weeks ago, maybe something like that, and we were going to do that, and Therese forgot that she told the kids they were going to do them, and we were speaking, and as we were speaking she just made them all and didn't realize. And because Owen, when he's told something, it has to happen exactly that way. If there's a change of plan, he can't cope with it. He was very, very upset over it. So I promised him we would have a pizza party at home, and last week I forgot to order the ingredients in the shopping, but this week I remembered, and I thought we're going to go and visit that school together now, and after we come back James will be home early, so we'll have more time and we can do that. So that's good. I'm looking forward to do that together. It will be nice. I don't know how it's going to go for this school. We will be going there, and there won't be any children because the children will be all away. She asked me would I mind coming after school because they have a lot of tests going on at the moment, and she was worried it would upset the schedule of the kids, and she was worried she wouldn't be able to talk to us properly, so she's asked me could we come after school. So this is the teacher we're meeting today for that school. Which is good because it's the teacher as she would have if she was to go to this one. So this one, for ages, this school has been my top one for month and month and month. But we meet less criteria, so we might still leave it as a number 2. We're gonna see. I don't want to make a decision about the order until we've seen the school, and then we'll see later on. Also, Alfie's statement should come in the post. I doubt it will be today because it apparently went into the post. Sorry, see what I'm doing? Picking my spots. I need to leave it. It went in the post apparently yesterday. I think the post probably has been already. Today we didn't get anything. It would have been unlikely that it was today because I spoke to him at about close to 4 o'clock and he told me it's going in today. So probably will leave actually today. And hopefully be there tomorrow, maybe Saturday. Maybe it would be nice to have that because that's another massive step. To have this finally, hopefully it's all right this time, they have everything in, and then it can go to the commission at the early April. So that's the update. I will update you after we visited the school. So we're just back from visiting school number 2, and I want school number 2 really bad. Alfie was so happy there that he didn't actually want to leave at the end. The teacher was really, really good, and actually have 3 levels for the classes there. It's just, you know, when your gut is telling you this is the right thing, this is happening with it. So we're going to put it at choice number 1. This is the one I've always had my heart set on before, but I had completely put that aside, and no, I need to trust my gut instincts. So this is my first choice, and then the one we saw yesterday is going to be choice number 2. We are now going to see if we put a choice number 3, if we're happy with any of the other ones, or would chance it. We're going to see. But yeah, I was worried about having to debate for ages about which one I was putting at number 1, and this is just a very clear number 1 for me. So it would be really, really lovely if it could go there, but we won't find that out until much later, and we still have quite a few hurdles before we can apply for the schools. So yeah, the statement didn't come today as I thought, but hopefully tomorrow or Saturday we'll see. But for now we are going to just relax for a bit, and then we are making our own pizzas later on, so I might film a little bit of that before I end this vlog. Hello, it is Friday and it is currently 11:10. I'm off to get Alfie in 10 minutes. I have had a very productive morning and I'm very happy. I have edited 2 vlogs from last week. I've started my journaling again. I had to take a break in my journaling project because my brain was completely overtaken with everything that's happening at the moment regarding Alfie's school situation. I'm going to try to only update you whenever there's something new happening. I'm really hoping I can tell you later on that his statement came in the post. I woke up at 4 in the morning again. My brain is just struggling with it, but whenever I keep busy, like this morning, I just thought there's nothing I can do apart from everything I've done so far. I just need to wait for that meeting on Thursday. Before then, not much will really happen. Maybe well, we might discuss in school upping his hours for this year, but I don't know when that will happen. The Senko was meant to phone me back yesterday. He hasn't. There's certain battles I don't feel strong enough to fight at the minute, so I'm keeping my energy for when I need it, because I am feeling quite fragile, as I've said before, at the minute. Emotionally speaking, I find everything very draining and it is absolutely exhausting. But so I want to kind of save my energy for the real battle, which is, for me right now, the next one is really that meeting on Thursday next week.
Again.
So, Alfie brought a special friend from school. Do you want to show everybody who is it?
A dragon.
Dogum is a little dog who lives in Alfie's class, and every weekend he comes home with his children. So he has a night book. What else does he have? Oh, what's that?
Oh.
Is that for his food?
Yeah.
Can eat?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And this.
This? We keep saying this about his food. What does he need? A bone?
Yeah.
I don't have a bone. Will we give him some cereals in his bowl, maybe?
Yeah.
We'll put some cereals for him. What else is in the bag?
What's in here?
Food! There's the food. There it is.
Eat it.
Is that a blankie?
Yeah.
To sleep. There we go. Is there anything else?
Yeah.
There is the bone.
Like that. Oops. It's a big one.
It's a big one. Oh, there's something else.
Yeah.
What is this? It's his toothbrush.
Yeah.
To brush his teeth. No, not for Alfie, for Dogum. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to keep them all in the bag so we don't lose them.
Not in the bag.
You need them?
No.
Okay. So the post came and I got it. Finally got it. So we have an amended proposed statement. This is not final. Still should have to wait another month or two to have the final one, but at least that's done. And I have the letter there agreeing to the statement as it is, so we can go ahead. I've also emailed a copy of it to the guy as planned, so it should speed this up, but I'm going to send a special delivery tomorrow. And yes, I am feeling so tired. I have a really bad headache, but I'm going to have my Marks and Spencer salad I got yesterday, and then it'll be time to go and get Owen. And then this afternoon we're gonna have a cozy afternoon because I think we all need it. So I've just heard back from Education Authority. They have received the letter by email. They have also forwarded the file to the school. That's the next step. So now I've agreed to it. It's sent to the school, and the school agree. Say, can they provide the help that Alfie needs based on those criteria? Because they already know the criteria and is already in that school, it's probably be really quick. They will agree on a number of hours. Education Authority is funding for the assistant, and the assistant is already in place. That's the one the school is funding. She's going to stay with Alfie for sure. So we know that it's just a matter of the money will come from Education Authority instead of the school. So then the school replies and it goes to a panel committee on the 28th of March. I thought it was early April, but he said to me no, it's 28th of March. And then it will take a few weeks for the final statements to be written, and then it will be sent to us, and that will be it. Once we have that, then the report from the educational psychologist that she's going to make based on her visit to Alfie and our meeting on Thursday will be added to it, with amendments to the statement for next year and what kind of placement Alfie needs to have, but that cannot be added to it until the statement is finalized. So it means that at least now this is, while we wait, we continue for things to happen, and once it's finalized everything can be added to it really quickly. So yeah, that's when I've just edited all the vlogs up to now that I hadn't uploaded yet, and I've just edited the vlog you're watching right now, and I felt like this week was so hard, but when I look at everything we have done, I'm just realizing so much happened actually in terms of progress and in terms of, you know, going to see the schools and everything. So it's been a tough week, but there's been a lot of progress with everything. So that's, for this, vlogging is nice sometimes, because when you can't focus on things properly anymore, it does remind you, oh actually there was that and that and that and that this week. Is quite a lot. So don't know yet if I will be vlogging this weekend. I'm going to be doing the painting. I will anyway film a before and after to show you. I might share that on Insta stories. I will see, although when you're watching this it's going to be probably away, but yeah, I'm going to now schedule all the vlogs I've edited to YouTube, so that's another big thing that can take out of my mind, and I'm glad I've caught up. I didn't have as much this time to catch up with, so that's good. And then I have one order to finish to make. I'm going to do that so I can start the weekend with all my editing and everything done and no work to do. Sorry, I have hiccups. And then this weekend I can focus on paint. Oh, hiccups, stupid hiccups. I can focus on painting the bathrooms. And I'll update you. Whatever happens, I will be making an update on what happened at that meeting. I cannot guarantee there won't be any tears of joy, tears of frustration, or there might be tears involved, maybe not. There might be a massive rant, and I know that next week expect tears throughout the week, and if it's not for what happened at the meeting, it's probably before, from all the anxiety from going to that meeting. So apologies in advance, but I will keep you posted on what happens. See you later, bye.